Okay, hello, I'm Matt and you're watching Programming with me. What you're going to see in this episode is us continuing the heads-up display that you see us creating in episode 6. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create 3 different bars, We're going to create a health bar, an energy bar, and an experience bar. Now what you're going to see me doing first is I'm just including a tile that's called a bar start. And now what this is going to be is just the very first opening bit, as rather than having it as just a straight bar, I'm going to have little curves closing it off, as you see in the image a moment ago. And so you'll see I'm rendering it now where I want it, and you can't see it, that's just because I've placed it wrong. That's fine. And what you see me doing here is just telling it where I want it to start rendering the bar start, so how big I want the bar start icon to be. I'm just trying to figure out whereabouts I'm going to correctly place it, and you see here that I've got there on the left, you see the 3 bars, which is what I was happy with. Next thing, I just change it so rather than including bar start, I'm also including bar end. I need to draw 3 of them. I decided to do this in the function as it cleans up the render function more, so I can just call draw bar. And then what I'll also be able to do is later on I'll change this so that I ain't just drawing the bar start, I'm also drawing all the different bars, so the red bar for health, blue bar for experience, and green bar for the energy. As you can see here, I'm just setting up a small function, and as you see there, it's a lot easier because rather than having 6 lines of code, I instead just have to put 3 lines of code, and I have 2 lines of code in my function. As I say, that makes it a lot easier for me, as I don't have to program it to render the bar start, bar middle and bar end every time. What you see here is me just setting up a for loop, and I'm using width here because that is the width of the bar that I'm drawing, and what I'm doing is I'm rendering the bar middle. And the bar middle is just obviously the top and the bottom with the colour in the middle bit, and as you can see it comes up a little bit large, and so I halve it, and there you go. As you can see, there's the 3 bars there, all empty of course, as I haven't told it to render the red, green and blue depending on which it's meant to be. As you see now, I'm changing it so that I'm including health bar start, health bar middle and health bar end, and these are different. These are 8 by 8 pixels for each of them, and therefore you see that they have to be placed differently, as they have to be placed on that dark yellow bit as opposed to just rendered anywhere on the screen. Okay, what you see me doing now is just making a new function called draw health bar. As you can see, I'm just debating whereabouts I have to actually draw the health bar. For example, I know I have to draw it right there on that little dark yellow bit, and so I just have to figure out the X and Y's from the edge of the bar start. And as you see here, I'm just passing it the 3 icons I want, because then I change it to draw bar. And this way I can just, rather than sending it having to make a draw health bar function, a draw energy bar function, a draw experience bar function, I can just call draw bar and send it the 3 tiles that I want it to draw. As I say, as always, it makes it easier, as I don't need 3 different functions, I can do it with just the one. As you see there, it went wrong a little bit, and the bar was drawn excessively. That's because I'm drawing the bar start, bar middle and bar end, whereas I wanted to draw the health bar of each of them. As you see there, it's drawing it a little large, as it's going all the way across the screen. And so what I do instead is I have to just edit it a little bit, and I'm just making sure that I've got the right coordinates for where I'm meant to be picking the health bar up from. I actually needed 26, 25, 26 and 27, and it still doesn't work. I increase it by 1. And give it another go, and you see it's still coming up wrong. to see it's picking up all the blues. And I'm just editing the sizes, just making sure that I'm getting the right ones. I was getting the right ones, which is good. Just need to figure out where I'm drawing it. Make sure I'm drawing it in the right place. As you can see, I'm drawing the blue bar in a minute, as I couldn't work out the correct bar that I wanted to draw. And there's the green one. And there we go, we have a health bar now. At the minute, the health bar is not linked to the character. The health bar is just drawing a constant width. You'll see in a moment how we link it to the character. So what I'm doing now is I'm just including all the different bars, so the XP and the energy, and then I just copy the function and paste it as it's the same function, just with different tiles being sent to it. And then I just edit the widths and heights a little bit. I only have to change the height function, the height variable, and I just have to add 1 to the bit that's being times by 16, as it's just an extra 16 pixels down. What you see me doing here is just linking it so that I can change the width of the health bar. As you see, I've got health width, and it's health divided by max health times max width. Now, each of the variables have different meanings. The health is the player's current health, so if you've been attacked by a monster, your health will go down. Max health is the maximum that your health could ever be. So, for example, if you've only got 100 health, if you drink as many potions or eat as much food or whatever to heal you, no matter what you do, you'll always stop at 100. Max width is the width of the bar itself that it's drawing in, and what you do is you do health divided by the max health. This will give you the percentage of your health compared to your max health, and then you times that by your max width and you'll get the correct percentage of the width. And therefore, the more health you've got, the higher up, the wider you draw it. I'm just using a system out println function here that will just tell me what's actually being passed to the program. The reason it was dividing integers by themselves, and this returns an integer, which means it cannot have a decimal point, which means it cannot be a percentage. So I just have to change it so that it casts it to a double at first, and you can say it's 0.5, and then when you set it back to an integer in the end. You see here the health was affected. If I changed it to 5, it was going down to 5, and it was going smaller and smaller bar. The main problem being at the moment though is it's rendering 8x8 block every pixel, and so they're overlapping a lot and it's causing a lot of frame rate issues. So what I do instead is, you'll see in a moment, instead I just get the middle part as 8x1 pixel instead, and this is better as it means I can draw more accurately how long the bar has to be. You see there I'm including the wrong thing, it's the wrong icon as it's fully yellow, and obviously the bar's meant to be red. So just have a quick look through the code to find out what's going wrong. You see when the health's 100, it was being drawn all the way across the bar. That's because its max health is the correct one. You see here is me just changing the X value so that it's using 216 instead of 27 it was. The reason this is because without this it would be rendering at just 27 pixels pixels into the image, and it'll be taking that as the tile that it wanted. So what I have to do instead is just change it to 216 because I'm only using a 1 wide image. What we see me doing here is just creating a new spell. The spell that I'm going to be creating, obviously I've made an empty button before, but I just want to create a spell that will use the energy up so that I can test to see whether or not the energy will deplete and the bar will go down with it. See here, I'm just setting up a basic render function of blank. Just drawing blank now. The reason I'm just drawing blank is because at the moment that's the only one I have, and rather than having to draw 8 of the same thing in the other function, in the other class, I can just render it in here so that it stores blank in here instead, and I just call 8 calls to spell. Spells render function, and it will render it correctly. You see here we're using get tile as opposed to in spell. That was in the spell button class. In spell we're using get tile, and in what that will do is we can hold a tile. As you see a moment ago, you see the arrow, and we'll be able to use that in the tile of the spell, and just by adding a little bit on the end of the function we can pass what spell we want it to draw. As you see, we have the little arrow drawing in the spell bar. What I can now do is put in the function that I can use that, and I will be able to, and it will make my energy deplete and the bar will follow, hopefully. Okay, what you see me doing here is just putting a tick function in that calls for the player as well, and this is just so I can get the player's health, and this way I can cause the player's health to decrease as well, and the bar will follow in the same way that I've been describing. The energy bar will follow when using spells. All I have to do is make sure that I call to tick for the HUD, and then obviously it will work. That way I don't have to include the health for the player, and just a little bit of extra coding, it makes it a lot easier. Obviously, as I said there, I didn't tell it to tick, which you'll see me doing in a moment. The health isn't coming out at the moment, and as you see here, this is me just troubleshooting to try and figure out why the health is not showing up. And you see me here printing what the player's health equals. As you see, it's always equaling 0, and I figure out it's because I'm not telling heads up display to tick. I tell it to tick and pass it to the player, and as you see, it actually does change the bar depending on what I set the health as. See? You see it there, just decreasing. Okay, that's been episode 7 of Programming with Matt. Please check back next week when you'll see what we're doing. Thank you.